Hey guys, welcome. So in today's lesson, which is lesson number 2, I did mention that we'll be talking about getting clients, right? Walking you over through the system and processes to actually acquiring your first clients or just acquiring clients. So we're going to walk over something we call the lead machine framework. It's basically a way to do things when it comes to going out there and showing up in the market with your offer. So yeah, let's go. Basically, I did say that I'm gonna say a lot of basically. So the thing is, you're going to craft or create a brand around your agency business, right? So you're not just gonna be there and willy wish, as I love to say, that people come and WhatsApp you or something. So we're not going to prioritize systems or processes that are not gonna bring in any business to you. So you don't need a fancy website. I know you are a web agency, you can have that in your spare time, but it's not gonna bring you clients, right? You don't spend a lot of time or money or resources on processes or systems that are not going to serve you. You can talk of automation, you can talk of using this and that, but the main thing now here is setting up a basic system that's going to allow your offer to get eyeballs out there, and you convert them into conversations at start and you win them as sales, right? So that's going to be the framework. The lead machine framework is basically like that. It's a matter of having your offer, which we've discussed about in the previous lesson, and you take it out there in the market. That's why down here I say show up with your offer in the market. You basically create a brand. You take that offer that you've set up and piece it together or merge it into this brand, this perception, and then you show up out there in the market, meaning you go out on social platforms and showcase your work, showcase you doing your work, creating all sorts of content that's going to have people giving you their attention, and you show them what you are capable of and how you can best serve their business. Remember, in the beginning when I explained the agency model, I said it's more of a system that helps fulfill the customer's needs or the client's needs. The customer or client is looking for a way to bring in leads into their business, a way to bring in sales on automation into their business, or a way to achieve some sort of objective. And you are coming in as an agency to meet those objectives by rendering your services, which is web design, which is SEO, which is ranking on top of the Google shopping thing. So that's the thing right there. You are meeting the customer's needs or the client's needs, which are their objective. They want a certain thing and you're going to service them or serve them in that kind of a regard. So it's not just a thing where you're saying websites without understanding. So even when you're doing your content, you'll do it in a sense that you understand what the customer or client wants to see. Then you will show them the exact thing that they are trying to get from a website. So if your client is looking for a simple 3-page website that's going to allow them to capture somebody's email when they land on the site and they give them a quotation or something, you wouldn't just show some sort of a site, or you wouldn't do content where you are showing aesthetics. You're showing yourself creating this website that has 3D effects rolling around on Mars or stuff like that. You'll show yourself creating a basic 3-page website where you are capturing those emails, because you understand that's what your audience is looking for. That's what your clients are looking for, right? So that's mainly the thing right there. So when it comes to step number 1, where you need to create a brand, it's simple. You basically need to go to Canva and set up the most basic logo, right? I don't think I'm at a stage where I need to tell you that think of a business name. Of course, maybe that's 0.1.1 or something, but of course you need to come up with a name for your agency. And by that, you don't need to be complex and think of immaculate agency something. Just be basic. You can merge your name or something you like, an ideology or concept you like, and say media at the end. For example, one of the names I came up with when it comes to one of my old businesses was X Growth Media. So X Growth Media. So I could say X Growth Agency, X Growth anything, right? So you could come up with something like that. For example, anything to do with growth, and you put agency or media, or as I said, your name, surname, and media, if your name is cool, of course. So yeah, something more like that, or anything like if you are working with for example, coaches and course creators or anything like that, you could use terms in that space, and you say media or agency or growth or something, something of that nature, right? I don't think it's something you should overthink. You just think of it, go back to the niche or market you'll be servicing. For example, let's say over here I'll be doing e-commerce websites for businesses in any niche, right? Anything, websites. I could just say done for you web online store, just like done for you online store. It's like an awkward name, but it does make a name, right? Or just, I don't know, think of something simple like that. But if I were to come up with one now, just say I would just make my initials and say HS Agency. That would be a cool name. Like everyone will want to know what's H and S standing for, right? So that's something that you should just look into. Come up with that 0.1.1, and then when you skip to get to the actual work, creating a brand, you create a simple logo that has to do with your name. So if my agency is H&S Agency, I would simply just go to Canva and write H&S Agency and make that bold and black or pink or any color and make that big, and that's basically a brand. I don't know if you get it. That's a logo, right? Then you go, secondly, create social media accounts, which is Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Those are a must, because those are going to be part of a system or part of operations you'll be running on a daily, right? And then from there, after you've created this, because that's a brand, how you show up in the market with your offer is in this way. It's now going to step number 2, where you start recording short video content showcase your work, or you just showing yourself creating a site that's in line with your audience, in line with your market, line with your niche, right? Excuse me for that. And then you could do a voiceover on it, or do simple Canva designs that are going to be content, and you send them out there, right? Don't rush for this, as I'm gonna come back to that. So let me show you something quickly also. It's more like the lead machine framework, right? So basically this is how it works. We are looking for views, right? Let no one deceive you. What we are looking for is views over here, right? So when I'm in a position to actually have my agency bring in my first sale, I don't know how much it would be for you to be convinced that you've made money, but let's suppose I want to make my first $5 sale online with my agency, right? I would simply get to follow what I just showed you down here. I would simply get to set up this brand, this pages, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, and then let's come here and I write this properly, and then I get to do what? I'm going to now make content, right? Content. So the content I'm going to do is in form of video, right? So I want this video to actually serve my ideal customer by showing them myself. I can do content where I'm doing a site or step-by-step creating a site for one of my clients, and note my words down, right? Because these are gonna be like catchy words you can use. I don't want to write this down. So I could say, work with me as I'm creating a website for one of my clients. Then you show yourself creating a quick design of a certain page for a certain website. You don't need to have this, like, do this for an actual client. It's just content, right? If I want to get my $5 work, as I said, I'll just have a package where I'm charging $5 for an online store, and then I just need to think of what kind of an online store should I create. Can say, I need to create an online store for businesses that are selling what? Let's say supplements, right? So I'll just go online and search for content of businesses that are selling supplements on Pinterest or wherever. Let me show you instead. Let's go to Dribbble. So Dribbble has, like, if you don't know Dribbble, it's like a marketplace like Upwork or Fiverr where people are selling designs and stuff. So let's say online store. My keyboard is a bit far, but it's cool, right? So I'll say online store, and then let's see one of the stores over here. I see this one selling watches. Let's see something. So let's say organic something. I don't know what they are selling. So I'll basically just come over here, look at a product they are selling, find a way to remake a store in this fashion or in this line, right? So I'll be having my phone pointed at my camera. My phone is a bit far, I'll show you. I'll just angle my phone to take the view of my monitor whilst I'm creating this site, right? And then I get to record this and cut it up or speed it up to make like 30 seconds or 1 minute max, or 60 seconds max, right? And then get to say, come work with me as there's a voiceover, come work with me as I'm creating a website for one of my clients that's selling organic what are these guys selling, right? Organic something, nuts. So come work with me as I'm creating a website for one of my clients that's selling organic nuts. Then you start showing yourself working, or it's running fast. I'll show you examples of that, and then you're creating these designs, and you might continue making voiceovers, like saying following step by step what you are doing. For example, saying, so I had to quickly get in touch with the client to find out the type of theme or colors they would like to see on their site, and create a quick logo for their brand. And then I started formulating designs and went back and forth. So you just talk fast. Remember, 30 seconds or 60 seconds is short. So you say what matters. Then you say, I started creating products and setting up the payment gateway. Then went back to go over reviews with the client, and they were excited and loved the final result of the site. If you want to work with me, leave a comment, or you say, if you want to work with me, go click the link on the bio, or if you want to work with me, click the button below. It depends what flow you'll be having to bring in clients, right? But the content should be straightforward. You're recording your work, doing something quick, and then speed it up or edit it up, and then you take it out there. That would be you basically showing up in the market with content. So my $5 sale would come from myself making this simple video there, creating that website you saw, and then I get to make a voiceover, say come work with me as I'm creating this, blah blah blah. Click the link on the bio to get to chat with me if you want to get a site done for your store. I only charge $5. I swear I don't know how many $5 I'll charge and make refunds at the end. Right? So that's basically it. It's not about, a lot of people have tarnished this agency business because of SMMA, and I don't have an issue with that, as I said previously, but we make this agency space to sound like it's some sort of, you are an agency, you are going to market stuff like Facebook ads to people out there who are maybe doing what, a solar company, and then you are going to find, no offense, but that's what the gurus are doing. You're going to find some Indian on Fiverr or from Pakistan, which is so silly or sad, and then you are going to have this person come and fulfill the work for this company, and you charge this guy $5, right? $5, and this company is gonna pay you $3,000. That's silly. It's like what kills the internet marketing space. It's like such ideologies that are killing the whole thing, right? Rather, what needs to happen is that as an agency, I already explained this, you are skill based, meaning if you want to sell Facebook ads yourself, you need to master Facebook ads, you need to know what you are doing, and then show people yourself, show off yourself to the market out there, to people out there where you're actually working on ads. And just like that, come work with me as I'm setting up a Facebook campaign for one of my clients that's selling weight loss supplements. And then you get to explain that previously they were having some ads that were not performing, so I got to help them with content and did this and that. If you want to work with me, click the link on the bio. That's basically it. You're going to be in money because you were authentic and you were honest, right? And you are going to fulfill those services. And when you get to scale up where you can't manage the clients you get, that's where you get help from real people with real faces and names, not just an idea of this new age slavery, or I'm gonna get this guy who's cheaper and he does this and I pocket the money. What about quality of delivery? Do you care about that, or you don't care at all? It's just this idea. I mean, I told you my weakness is talking a lot, but I just had to rant about that. So if you are in a position to do this, then you need to actually have this agency brand, because this is a brand, right? So this agency brand to record content doing the work. So record content doing more work. So 10x on doing content instead of talking a lot, doing content. And then you're going to make sure that this doing content brings you DM conversations. It's unlike drop shipping or something where we say you're going to run this easy hack of ads to just generate sales. When it comes to services, you need to talk to people, you need to close them, you need to, and there is no script or cheat around it. I know a lot of people just talk about how you need to have some sort of a cheat script to take, copy, paste, and you edit the names. No, it's not gonna work. You need to talk to people as in actual people about what you are actually doing, right? I didn't mean to rhyme there, but I'm cool like that. Right? So you need to talk to actual people about what you are actually doing. Right? So that's more like it. Agency brand, doing content that's actually showing what you're doing, recording content on doing, 10x on that, and then get to talk to people, and that's where you're going to close in these sales. So sales are coming from conversations. So you don't need to actually jump right away to on sales calls immediately. You just talk. The higher you charge, that's what I've actually got to learn. The more I charge over here, that will determine if the person will need to actually jump on a call with me. I've sold sites for like $200 and there was no need to actually talk on a call. Sometimes I'm the one who insisted to actually get clarity of what the client needed, right? Let me have water. So that's the case. If ever you charge anything above $300, 500, that's when maybe you might need to suggest that you talk over a call with this client from the DMs, and then you close them, right? But the whole idea of this framework is getting views and turning these views into conversations, and then that's where the magic is gonna happen. As easy as that, somebody will say, I don't have the money right now, let's talk next week, but it's unlikely. Whoever is gonna come through, the numbers are gonna make sense that you have 10 people that DM'd you and 1 is willing to pay, and whoever is willing to pay, they'll pay you now or tomorrow, and you start working. So you'll constantly have a list of people coming in. Others are not ready to pay, others are ready to pay, others are not ready to launch that business, others are having that business. So it will depend, more like that, right? So this is basically how the framework is. It's views, conversations, and sales. And then my $5 is basically gonna come out of me making this content. So the more content I record over here, the higher the chances of closing these conversations. Because if I were to do a basic formula, I would basically say more content over here increases my conversations, meaning the more conversations I have in here, the higher the chances of closing one here, right? And that's more like that. You could start on a lower fee, like $200, $300, and you go up as you make more sales. For example, when I'm starting up, I might say $5. Remember, the $5 is an example, right? So I could start off, let me be realistic instead. Let me say I could start off at $200, which is like 3,600 rands, right? South African rands. So I start off somewhere there, $200 as an entry, as a starter in the business. You wouldn't be just confident enough to say on a call that I actually make this done for you stuff for $5,000. You wouldn't just have that gut in you easy to confidently say that and justify that. But starting off somewhere, then you move up further, right? So you get to say, right now I'm making, my sites are actually let's say $300 for done for you online store, because that's what I specialize in. Don't know what you'll choose. $300, right? And then when I get to check that how many stores can I do in a week, because the thing I'm talking about here is gonna get a bit tricky if you are not disciplined. Secondly, if you can't manage your time and you're doing this more like partly, not full time. Even when you're doing it full time, it will somehow get to try breaking you a bit. So breaking you a bit, because I've learned this. I have a partner that has an issue with how much time they can spend in a day talking to people, and it might overwhelm you, exhaust you a bit, but there'll be a limit and you'll pick it up, right? As soon as you pick up that I can actually get 4 clients in a month, right? So I'll just say 300. Let me get my calculator. So it will be something like 300 times 4 in a month, right? Let's say in a month I can make 1,200. Is that correct? Right? 1,200 US dollars in a month, right? Let me do this for my homies. So it's somewhere at 21,000, right? For my other homies, it would be a few millions. Where did I get that from? So for my real homies, it's 21,000 and a few rands, a few hundreds, 21,600 rands, right? For my other homies, it's a few millions, right? Okay, yeah, for my other homies. And then if you realize that actually handling more than 4 clients is a lot of work, and you have, remember, these views, you can't control how many people are going to convert from the conversations you are having, and when they want this thing, they are ready to pay, unless you get to come up with a way. For example, you set up a calendar, right? That you can start pay up for this, but I'm currently working on a project. It's gonna close in 4 days, then I'll start working on your project. Something like that, right? And then you manage that properly. Don't take upfront payments and you can't start the work in 4 days and they have to chase after you and stuff. Bad for your business. But suppose you realize that after making such arrangements, you still can't keep up, then you need to actually implement second stage of this, right? The second stage now says, now this model is getting broken over here because I'm having a lot of conversations that are closing, but with this fee, it's more like I'm having more than I can handle. So now I need to figure out a new formula. And the new formula basically tells you that I think this basic business, right? The higher the demand, when you get more demand, right? Demand, you are basically going to heighten, not that. You're going to take your, sorry, I just got distracted a bit, but when you get more demand, you basically are going to take your prices higher. Because there is no reason why you should stick to doing 4 websites over here every month and then keeping it over here, yet others want to come in and you can't handle them and stuff. So what you need to do, it's more like what other big businesses are doing. It's an auction, but the auction is only in your head, right? Where these people over here must now compete for a slot in this space. So you're going to put it in this manner that you are no longer charging $300 US for your services, right? You're charging, remember this $300 made you this much, right? Let me keep my calculator close now. So keep it there, right? So now you're charging, let's say I'm charging $800 US. So out of those many conversations, you are going to have a lot of people falling off, and those that can afford $800 US are going to continue and get closed. So previously, in this model that failed, you would have people actually qualifying in a huge number, and they are qualifying for this slot, but you can't take all of them. But what you do next is that you actually surf down your more like a qualification that sifts down that number or brings down, filters the number, and then you get to have only 4 people qualifying for this $800 slot, right? And then now your numbers are going to change. It's going to be 800 times 4. Then it becomes just like that, $3,200 a month, right? How are you doing this without increasing the work? Because you could get tempted, right? And don't fall for that. You could easily get tempted to want and try taking in 8 clients to double this to 1,200, and that's a booby trap you should never fall for. The more clients you take, the more exhausted you get. You're gonna break down somewhere and break your business. So instead of trying to increase how many people we are taking in, just narrow it down. Try and increase your prices so that you double the money without actually breaking the system. And once you get into the space, it's actually easier to do that because you are in a position that your value and pricing it is not imaginary. It's more like demand, supply based, right? So yeah, it's more like that. It's a situation where you just have to use your logical mind instead of your greedy mind. Your greedy mind will say, I want to take in as many people as I can, whilst you should say, there is demand, let's increase the price and actually produce and deliver the same value or the same quality work, right? Sometimes you might, with some sort of mind, you might feel as if going for the price is greedy, but going for the numbers is greedy. You want to say, I want to do 20 clients, and you know you can't service all of them. You're gonna have a lot of breakages, right? So that's more like it. I think by far I've managed to just break this down and make it straight, right? So let's go back and we continue with this. I touched upon this lead machine framework after creating the brand, and we make the content, and I showed you how the content works in line with this framework. The framework exists on this content you make. So the framework doesn't exist, can't operate, can't function, can't work without you putting in the work. So again, this is none of those things where you are just gonna make money automatically or an easy way to make money. You need to actually punch in numbers. The more numbers you punch in, the more conversations you have, and the higher the sales you'll get. And the more sales you have, the more you get to qualify for increasing prices, right? You can't just increase prices whilst you have never even made one website and you just say, I'm making websites for $2,000 whilst you've never even made one website. The error in that space is high. The room for error is high, but you're gonna mess it up. Next thing, you can't refund that 1,200 or that 4,000 or 8,000, right? So we start somewhere. You don't just jump into something, really wish that it works. No, you're gonna punch in numbers. This is a system. It needs views, and the views need content. And after that, you need to talk to people, and close sales. So that's more like it. The framework in summary. And next, I'll be talking about how to take it a step further and do this intentionally on a daily with the content that you've produced. See you in the next lesson. Cheers.